Picture rural County Kilkenny in the late 19th century. The towns along the River Nore, like Ballyragget, were built on a steady rhythm of agriculture and millwork. When we look back at the sports of this era, the story is usually dominated by the rise of the GAA, the organization dedicated to promoting Indigenous Irish sports like hurling and Gaelic football. But what was the actual most popular, highly organized Sunday pastime in the parish of Ballyragget in 1880? It was cricket. Finding a rural Irish farming parish swept up in a cricket craze complicates our standardized view of traditional local history. By the 1880s, a dense, interconnected ecosystem of local clubs had taken root across the region. This is an archival map showing the historic distribution of cricket clubs across the Ballyragget and Ballyoskell area. Within this small geographic pocket, you can see distinct competitive teams established in Adana, Ballyconra, and the town of Ballyragget itself. The sheer number of active clubs proved that a highly organized sporting league was operating right in the middle of a rural farming parish. The foundation for these teams came directly from local industry. The Moss family operated Ballyconra Mills, the largest milling operation in the county. In 1862, they formed the Ballyconra cricket team, immediately sparking intense local rivalries and playing highly competitive matches against their neighbors in Atna. By 1863, these local derbies had become high society events. Archival reports describe large crowds, ladies in attendance, and play pausing for a lavish champagne lunch hosted by the estate owners. Out on the pitch, the rosters were heavily mixed. Local gentry and rectors played alongside the working-class mill hands who served as the star run scorers and wicket takers. For a few hours on a Sunday afternoon, the local cricket pitch acted as a temporary bridge across strict 19th century class and labor divides. Moving into the 1880s, the sport exploded into a massive popular obsession across all of Kilkenny. This printed excerpt details the history of the Ballyragget Cricket Club, describing them in 1886 as a new and flourishing club. When traveling to play in Mountrath, they brought their own brass band along for the journey. Imagine the sheer noise and pageantry of that scene. Dozens of rural Irishmen marching into a neighboring town for a cricket match, flanked by a blaring brass band. Their success relied on the estate patronage system. This was an arrangement where wealthy local landowners provided the physical grounds and funding, while local workers provided the athletic talent. This combination of resources allowed the town to dominate larger rivals like Castlecomer. By the late 1880s, Ballyragget had taken a stereotypically polite game and turned it into a loud, proud, and highly localized community spectacle. As the 1890s bled into the 1900s, the national cultural landscape shifted, and the newly formalized GAA began to dominate rural athletics. The club's records for 1903 highlight a moment where local tradition held firm against a changing national tide. That year, Ballyragget was famously unrepresented at the annual county GAA convention. The town's athletes didn't attend because they were entirely occupied playing and winning their scheduled cricket matches against neighboring towns. Eventually, as the 20th century progressed, the sport faded. The manicured pitches at Crofton's Field and the Adana Rectory grew out and reverted to agricultural pasture. Today, the physical footprint and the local memory of this vibrant golden age have been almost completely erased from the landscape. Yet the historical record leaves us with this specific image: Irish millworkers and reverends playing cricket together to the sound of a brass band on a Sunday in the 1880s. This history reveals that rural identity in the 19th century contained layers that rarely appear in the popular imagination. In the end, Ballyragget's golden age of cricket shows us a community that was perfectly comfortable defining its own passions on its own terms.